I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Monongalia County Board of Education. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for being here. We have Sean Smith is on the phone. You still there, Sean?
Still here.
Okay.
Mike.
He will be attending remotely. So you may see us pause a little bit because we're on a delay. So if he's watching it and listening, he's going to get two different things going. So we may have to pause from time to time on the votes. Okay, first up we have delegations. Let me read the rules and regulations. Speakers are requested to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect of the dignity, privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. While it is not our intent to stifle public comments, speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. If you are unsure of the legal ramifications of what you're about to say, we urge you to consult with your legal advisor. Monongalia County Schools Board Policy 0169, public participation at board meetings, states that you may speak no more than 5 minutes if there are 12 or fewer delegations. After 12 delegations, the amount of time you may speak will be determined by taking the number of delegations and dividing it by 60 minutes. Public comment is not a time for open dialogue among board members and the speaker. Board members will not answer questions posed to them from a speaker or comment on speaker's concerns. In short, there will be no verbal interaction from board members during or after the speaker's comments. And that has, a lot of all this has to do with the Sunshine Law about us getting off on a subject that, it's not on the agenda. So first off, we have Helena Sadowski.
I would like to thank the school board, the school staff, and the broader community for taking proactive steps to improve both the timing of lunch at South Middle School and the provisions of the temporary meals at Morgantown High School during the kitchen renovations. These changes show a strong commitment to the student well-being, even amidst a challenging and unforeseen circumstance. It's encouraging to me, both as a parent and a professional, that these challenges have sparked a much-needed and valuable conversation around the importance of child nutrition in our schools. As a registered dietitian who has worked with pediatric and adolescent populations for over 13 years, I want to emphasize how critical school meals are, not only for supporting physical health, but also for helping students focus, learn, and thrive throughout the school day. With the planned kitchen upgrades, I hope that this will be an intentional move towards preparing more meals from scratch and fewer prepackaged or reheated items. Freshly prepared meals not only support better nutrition, but also show students that their health and well-being are truly a priority. Thank you again for everyone who's been involved in the effort so far, and I look forward to seeing continued improvement in our school nutrition programs and the positive impact they'll have on our student lives.
Thank you. Next up, we have Matt Cross. You're here somewhere because I saw you walk in. There you go.
Greetings to the board members, Mr. Kelly, Superintendent Campbell. My name is Matthew Cross. I'm president of the Suncrest Neighborhood Association. I'm here to state our position on a contended property situation at the old school. First, I'd like to thank the BOE as it was in 2016 for putting in the nice new modern elementary school at the end of Collins Ferry as a walkable for the students of Suncrest. So thank you for that. I also thank the current Board of Education for the property acquisition for the new middle school. It's not quite in Suncrest and not quite walkable for Suncrest students, but it's a new school, so thank you for that. For the new board members, you probably know the recent history of the school having water damage and being demolished in December 2023. As the empty lot sat through the summer of 2024, I was approached by a citizen with a proposal for a community garden. This was in September of 2024. At that time, we had a Suncrest neighborhood meeting, and Jenny Celine, who was the 4th Ward counselor, said she might want to approach Mr. Kelly personally and ask him what he thought of the situation. Jenny works with Mr. Kelly on the MPO Policy Board. I know this because I am a member of the MPO Citizen Advisory Committee. I said, sure, go ahead and see what he thinks. And I assumed the answer would be no, and indeed it was not favorable. Fair enough. Didn't push the issue. It's okay for me to wait, knowing that the ground probably needed to settle after the demolition anyway, and the foundation was filled in. So I didn't push it at the time. I had planned to formally ask the BOE the following spring of 2025 about a temporary park instead of a dilapidated empty lot in the middle of the neighborhood, which, as I understand, also serves as a bus stop for the kids during the school year. But at the beginning of this year, I was made aware of the BOE's attempt to acquire by condemnation the property as contested. And so the SNA at that point filed suit, and this motion in the first hearing was in March 2025. At no point did the BOE offer any communication to myself or the SNA about what to do with the property. So I encourage board members to read the developments of this case since it first went to court in March 2025. And I'd hoped that the BOE would have honored the spirit and intention of the original deed. I'm very sorry that it has come to this. Hopefully we can work something out. But as I say at the time, I did not try to push the BOE in any form or manner. I gave them a lot of leeway and was hoping it would work out. But here we are at this point in time. Thank you for the chance to speak.
Thank you, Matthew. Next up is Beth Bossio.
Hello, I am speaking because many of you have recommended me to do so for a while now, to come down here and speak. I'm also speaking about the Suncrest Primary School property. As you know, I've been emailing the entire board for a long time asking for communication on future plans with the property. And what did the community get in return? An order of publication, one that provides zero real insight into what's actually happening with the property, but includes plenty of things that raise concern. I don't need to list those things that are on the order of publication because you all should have read it by now. This lack of direct communication is exactly what erodes trust. The community deserves clarity on the board's plans. I've also asked how much has been spent on attorney fees on this, and I was told the only way to get that is with a FOIA. I find that to be very sad. If the amount is large, that is money taken away from classrooms, from teachers, and from students who need those funds the most. And finally, the filings that have been presented to the courts list plans and designs for the property, but I've contacted many of you before the hearing started in March, and you told me that there are no concrete plans. So what is the truth? Thank you, and I hope that this board, some of you will stand up and actually do what is best for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bossio. Okay, next up we have reports and discussion. Update on MHS kitchen renovation and lunch service.
I want to thank our speaker for recognizing that the board and the administration had the opportunity to address the initial problems that we had at Morgantown High School as well as South Middle School in relation to their schedule. And I wanted to take a few minutes to update the board on where we are at this particular stage of the game. As you know, we didn't get started necessarily on the right foot. We are renovating Morgantown High School's kitchen and library area. The good part about that is we're going to have a modern, expanded kitchen at Morgantown High School, which has long been overdue, that will serve our students for many, many years to come. And obviously, if you've done any home renovations, you know that that's going to cause us some inconvenience and some growing pains as we go through. The original menu that we had put into place didn't go over very well, wasn't a big hit, and so we did listen to our constituents, and we kind of went back to the drawing board and came up with a new approach. We will be partnering with Mountain State Harvest and Oliverios to put together what we think is going to be a very good hot meal lunch menu for our students at Morgantown High School. All of the meals will be prepared in Oliverios Cafe kitchen, being prepared at the hands of our cooks in conjunction with their staff as well. Oliverios has stepped in and said they will transport the food so that it is transferred safely and will remain warm for our students. And so we shared that with the public last week so that they would have all that information. I'm sure many, many people have seen what looks like is going to be a splendid menu for our students. So I think we're in a much better place right now. This week we did add some supplemental items to the original menu simply to try to get us through this week. And hopefully that is going well, in addition to the changes that we'll make on Tuesday after Labor Day. So hoping things will go a little bit better as we move forward. And again, these are temporary changes until we get the kitchen up and online. And so I did share some other information with the board members earlier this week, yesterday. And certainly if the board has any additional questions for me, I can try to answer those questions for you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
I do. I have a few questions and a few comments. I really am thankful that the BOE was responsive and our child nutrition department, along with our central office staff here, in meeting the demand for something different. I am concerned about the composition of our lunches. And I've asked this question. I think it's worth having a bigger discussion about this. I recognize that we exist in a time of inflation. What $2 used to buy 5 years ago is not what $2 buy today. But I do think, and Ms. Sadowski was very right in bringing this up, that our children need more protein. And protein is what fuels brains. It's what fuels our physical bodies. And it helps with attention. And I'm very sad to learn that I understand, and I actually brought it here. I printed it out if anyone would like to see it. What the actual USDA guidelines are. They are very minimum, right? They're the minimum of what we need to offer, not the maximum of what we need to offer. And I think to myself, after children grow through puberty, they are basically adults, and they should be eating like adults. They shouldn't be eating like our pre-Kers or our kindergartners. And so how can we be responsive to that? I do know that I had a number of complaints, and I know I personally asked what kind of complaints the central office got, and we were told that there were no complaints. They're not aware of any complaints. I've had complaints from Suncrest Elementary, Suncrest Middle, Cheat Lake, Mountain View, and I'm sure there are others, not just about the quantity of food, but the temperature of food, as well as the meal composition itself, that ingredients have changed. And I'll give you an example. Chicken and waffle day is always popular. They're now serving it with a cinnamon waffle rather than a plain waffle that was provided before. And so I think the board needs to have a larger conversation about what we're providing to our students. And I recognize how important it is to provide free meals to every student in this county and to move away from the stigma of students who are the free lunch kids. But at the same time, if we are not able to provide what is necessary to every single child to learn and to make it through the day, especially those students who are eating at 10:30 in the morning, I think that should be a larger conversation that we have all together.
Anybody else? Sean, do you have any comments?
I'll echo what Christina was saying, especially as the father of a type 1 diabetic. It's extremely important. I know we don't have thousands of them, but each school has 10 or so more of the diabetics, and obviously they get special attention from the parents, and we're responsible for them. We don't put that on the school. But knowing a couple dietitians, one who's in the room, and getting a lot of feedback from people just throughout the last couple of weeks, but also throughout Chloe's life of doing this, I don't think it's ever bad to really relook at what we're serving and make sure it's along the guidelines. We got one person doing it for the county. It's a big job. So how can we, like Christina was saying, get with other professionals and just double check the things we're serving and ensure that we're serving the right things at the right times, and kids are able to learn. You can't learn hungry. Everybody in the room knows that. I do have another daughter who eats at 10:26 in the morning, so she lasts all the way through volleyball at 5:15. How do we ensure we just have all the right stuff in place? So just wanted to add that.
Okay. Anybody else?
Does the menu still, the daily, what they eat? Because I remember, and it's been a while, when I was at Westwood, I felt like we fed kids so much that it honestly, was grossed out. But we had breakfast, and then grab and go, and then lunch, and then, I don't know if this was allowed, but the teachers collected all of the extra cheese and everything and let the kids have food whenever they wanted it. So we fed kids so much food that was probably over the top. What does it look like now? Are we doing breakfast, then grab and go, then lunch, then?
We run an alternative breakfast schedule right now, so it primarily fits the grab and go model for our students, and then lunch.
I think it's important
So no
to understand
hot,
that
nothing hot.
there's no hot breakfast. It's cereal, which again doesn't contain much protein. But I also, I understand that costs are driving a lot of these decisions, but kids are hungry in the middle of the afternoon. And whether you like it or not, teachers are asking parents to send snacks in because kids are not making it through the afternoon. And I've experienced that myself. I also think in talking about what's popular and what's not popular, Dr. Campbell, you mentioned student surveys. I really hesitate with putting a lot of strength in those student surveys, especially because there are power differentials. Children are more likely to agree with what is good because they think they're pleasing adults, depending upon their age. And also, if you ask my kids what they want to eat every day, they would have ice cream and waffles. That's all they would eat is ice cream and waffles. They would never eat veggies. They would never eat fruits. And we're the adults in the room, right? We need to be making these decisions and making sure we're putting not only flavorful food and different options in front of them, but if my child was vegetarian or vegan and they were offered a cheese sandwich, I'd be really upset.
I know that the Morgantown High breakfast, at least for the last 2 weeks, has been several cereals. It used to grab and go. Is that all schools just cereals? Because it used to include cheese sticks and fruit cup and yogurt and those kind of things that do offer more protein and a choice. I know my own children, however they are adults now, would never choose cereal. They've probably never eaten cereal for breakfast ever, and probably because their mother wouldn't let them because they call me the granola mom. But I'm just curious, can we bring some of those grab and go, the little cheese sticks or whatever back that add protein, that give a choice, that the kids don't have to eat right then, can maybe snack on it later? Because I saw a lot of kids doing that. They'd pull out their cheese stick at 1 o'clock or an apple or a yogurt or whatever.
I think any of our menus can be revisited and looked at. There's nothing that prevents that. What we serve has to fall within the nutrition guidelines that we're given. And I know that this has been an extremely difficult year because of the changes that have been made at the federal and at the state level. I believe there's only 2 states in the country that have been forced to remove the dyes, certain dyes from their food. That's been an obstacle because of the manufacturers not having enough time to do it. One of the things that they were able to do that very quickly with was the cereals, because it's already being done, I believe, overseas. And so they were able to produce those and provide those in the state of West Virginia. So between we have to pay attention to those nutrition guidelines as part of the menu making. Our menus do have to be approved by the West Virginia Department of Education, which they have. Obviously, we, in addition to the constraints that we face in the nutrient piece of it and putting those menus together, we have to pay attention to budgetary restraints as well. And not that we cut corners, but this board knows that we put over $1 million into our food service program at the expense, at our operational budget that comes directly out of it. We're probably one or two counties in the entire state of West Virginia that puts money in from their operational budget, because all of the other counties qualify at the federal level to have their meals, all of their meals, fully reimbursed. And that was some of that pricing information I shared with you. So those are two big considerations that we face when we put those meals together. Frankly, when we put our menus, our regular menus, when we put those up in front of the state and in front of the counties that are being fully reimbursed by the federal government, I'll put our menu up against anybody's. It's one of the best in the state, and we have been told that. Again, there's nothing that can't be revisited. Christina mentioned student surveys. I mean, that's only one part of it. Probably more so, the menu is created on how many students actually eat the meals every day. Our child nutrition director looks at that data every day. And so based on that data, we can determine which meals are more popular. Chicken and waffles is a great example. For the last couple of years, since that has been added to the menu, it has been one of, if not the most popular item on the menu. So we know kids eat that. We know what kids eat and what they don't eat when we put it on the menu. Child nutrition director has been very creative in putting new items on to test to see if students do like them. We take advantage of the summer with Summer Avalanche to introduce new items to see if they are popular with students. Bottom line is we can choose to put whatever we want on that menu as long as it meets those nutrition guidelines. But if the student says, I don't like it, and they don't eat it, they're going to be hungry and they're not going to learn. And so we try to balance that. We try to put things on there that the kids will eat and that they enjoy and that they've provided us feedback with, and also that is nutritious. But again, we can revisit that as we always do. We are constantly looking at that menu.
I'm going to go retro on us a little bit, and Donna will remember these days when the parents paid. Some of them were free lunch, but the parents would pay, and kind of help me here. But I think at one point our accounts receivables on the lunch was what, $300,000 or $400,000 that was outstanding that wasn't being paid. So it was, so what I see now, I'm glad to see we got to this point. But kind of to what you said, we would look at the trash cans when they get the healthy foods and all this. We'd have a lot of our people say the trash cans, the kids aren't even touching them. They're just throwing them away. So it's like you said, we got to run those tests and find out what they will eat that falls within the guidelines, because there's no point putting it out there if it's going to wind up in a trash can. That's just wasting food, and nobody wants to do that. But it's just been that was 15, 16 years ago that I remember looking at those, and how do you ever collect that? You just can't, you know. But, and that was another issue they had too, because I'll use, you know, I think a hamburger. When each meal had one hamburger, so if a kid said, I'm hungry, they took another hamburger, that was 2 meals. They were charged for, even if they didn't take any of the rest of it, just one more main product.
Protein
Right.
is what charged the second lunch.
Right. And so anyway, you know, if they're hungry, and we talked about, okay, do we stop them doing that? And none of us said, no, we don't want these kids to go hungry. We say, give it to them, we'll absorb it, and so forth. So it's nice that the federal government stepped in, and when we didn't do breakfasts back then either, did we, Dawn? No.
We did.
Yeah, it was just, you know, in the beginning. But anyway, it's one of those, it's an ongoing moving target that we've had to adjust to throughout the years, and the tastes change. I mean, the students of 2014 aren't quite the same palate as the students of 2025 maybe. So I agree with what you were saying. Just you keep an eye on it, and look at it, and see where we are, and hit the guidelines.
I have 2 more things to add. Number 1, I was contacted by some folks out at Clay Battelle Middle and High School. They don't have the salads available that are offered at MHS once the renovation is over, or UHS, and they're wondering why they don't have equal access to that option. And number 2, I really am concerned with us trying out new things in the summer over summer avalanche when we're only looking at children K through 8. There's no way that a high schooler would be able to survive on a strawberry bowlie that only has 250 calories and 5 grams of protein. That is not filling, that is not appropriate for a middle schooler, let alone a high schooler.
Well, I think that point was, this is the segment of the population that we're checking on, because they're there. That's not, I don't think that was ever intended to be high school meals. It's just,
But we put it on the permanent menu, the permanent renovation menu, before we changed it last week.
well, what I'm saying is these test results, so to speak, is you got to pick some part of it and test it and say, okay, here's what they like. They've got some sort of validation from that part of it. But anyway, that's something that,
Speaking to Clay Battelle, I brought that up to Dr. Campbell, I think last February in our meeting, and you are working on that, correct?
Yeah, we
With the satellite station, right, the
Well-
salad bar?
We are working on all of our kitchens. Over the summer, we usually pick 1, possibly 2 kitchens that we renovate. All of our kitchens are different and have different capabilities. And at some point, all of our kitchens will be modernized and will have the capability to do all the things that they all do. So sometimes it's just a matter of time. We don't have the ability to renovate every one of our kitchens over the course of the summer, a single summer. And so every year we pick 1 or 2 in the summer to do that, and they become very modern. I mean, I think if you walk in and look at the changes that we've made at South, I believe we did some work at North this past summer. If you walk in and look at those changes, I mean, you are seeing modern facilities that our kids are having the opportunity to be exposed to and take advantage of. Look at the changes that have been made and that you have supported at University High School, which helps address students getting more food and extra protein and things of that nature. So
Can Clay Battelle use something like a portable salad bar station or something? I'm sure we have the carts or whatever, even if there's something out of the old Morgantown High lunchroom that is a portable cold food station that would support a salad bar.
I can't answer that question specifically
to look
right
into,
now,
'cause I
but
think
it's
that's
certainly something
valid.
that we could look at.
I would love to know how much it would cost to purchase a cooler for that particular lunchroom, so that we could have access to grab and go like we have in the other high schools. It's important to have uniformity across the high schools.
Okay, that's something you can follow up on and fill us in. I just want to touch a little base on the MHS kitchen renovation. There's going to be all kinds of surprises with that school because it's an older school, and everything that we've done to that building, we always have surprises when we start. I mean, I had a conversation today with them when we were talking about the fountain, and it was there. Half the people were, I don't remember a fountain. I asked my wife, and she, at that point, she didn't remember a fountain, but there was an inside fountain. So now, obviously, there's a footer for that. So you're trying to punch through something, and all of a sudden, you got this concrete you got to continue on. But anyway, everything we've done to that school, we've found so many surprises because of it's just been, been so long with it. So I guess what I'm saying there is things may not go quite as quickly as planned. And it's like every time we try to go through concrete, it's this thick of concrete instead of this thick. Okay, next item. School performances, student outcomes, academics, summer programming. I'll let you introduce Dr. Susan Taylor.
Yes, Dr. Susan Taylor is here this evening, and she's going to talk to us about this past summer's programs and the wonderful success that we had. So, Susan, thank you for all your work that you do for us, getting those summer programs up and running, and I know that this was another successful, record-breaking summer, so I won't steal any more of your thunder.
That's right, and you did. That was my theme for this evening, record-breaking. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't. So I'm here to talk about summer programs. So we'll see if this works. So far, so good. So I'm going to go over the brief history of our summer programs, Summer Sizzler, and then we'll jump right into Summer Avalanche with enrollment, attendance numbers, transportation and meals, and then put a spotlight on our transition programs. So first, our summer programming started in 2014 as Summer Snowflakes. It started about 6, and I think expanded to 8 locations, not at all of our schools, and that was due to a high number of snow days that we had that year. It was at least 20, maybe 22, I'm not sure. So we started it in 2014. In 2016, we started Summer Sizzler. Now, the past few years, it has looked the same with the cool buses, but it used to look very different each year. We dedicated the free little libraries, we had celebrity readers, community readers, just a change of pace each summer, but we've stuck with the cool buses since COVID. During COVID, they served meals and books. We serve snacks and books now. So Summer Avalanche started in 2021, and now we're celebrating 11 years of summer programming at the end of this year. So back to the records, every year that I get to come here, I get the opportunity to tell you that we've broken a record for Summer Sizzler, and it's no different this year. We served 1,800 students this year for Summer Sizzler. So that's 4 cool buses going around the county on 4 different routes, serving high-quality literature. That was 9,000 books this year. Most students get a packet of 5 books in a pack with journals, and they're not blank pieces of paper. They go along with each of the books with writing utensils. And then for the past 2 years, we've been able to give our snack boxes, which are full of just a variety of treats with Pop-Tarts, the beef sticks, all the fruit cups, you name it, it's in there. And it's about 12 days worth of snacks, which leads us into Summer Avalanche. Now that we've done this cool buses this way for 4 years, I've got some exciting news to share on the next slide, in that I can say that we have now provided 26,600 books to fill our students' libraries at home. Classroom libraries are important, but we know how important those home libraries are. And 26,000, that's a huge number. So we're actually closer to 27,000. And that's a testament to Summer Sizzler giving out the books, but it's also they get the packet. Since we started the cool buses the last 4 years, we give the pack. So if you're one child coming to the Summer Sizzler bus, you get 5 books. But if you're a family of 2, you're getting 10 books, and they're by grade level too, so you're getting a variety of books. 3 kids, that's 15 books. You see where I'm going with this. So it's a great job that we've done over the past 4 years. On to Summer Avalanche, again, record-breaking. Our enrollment numbers are up this year to 2,500. That's about 22% of our student population. So when we started in year 1, we had approximately 1,600 students, increased the following year to 1,800. We were at 2,300 for years 3 and 4, and we're up to 2,532 students registered this year. So our session enrollment, this is just a little breakdown. Summer Avalanche is very flexible for our teachers that teach it as well as our families. So they get the option to participate 2 weeks, say session 1 or session 2, or they can attend all 4 weeks. And we give that option to our teachers for teaching as well. They can teach 2 weeks, session 1, session 2, or the entire 15 days. So as you can see here, the breakdown for session 1 and 2 is pretty similar, but you can see that most choose to attend all 4 weeks. Again, showing you the flexibility. Now this one's changed over the years. With the flexibility of the 2 weeks, we also say you can, if you want to only attend in the mornings, you can, or the afternoons if you have other activities or what's going on. But this shows, I mean, you can see we only had 27 take the option of afternoons only out of all of that is rolled. So this shows that our students prefer to attend all day and need to attend all day. They need an all-day program. Transportation, this is the breakdown of, you can see the car riders. Over half of our students utilize our transportation that we offer in the summer. Most use it in the morning and afternoon, but in the cases where they only attend morning or afternoon, they do morning or afternoon only. Get Set Sam, which I'll talk about in a little bit, is a pre-K program. It's morning only, so they're only going to ride the bus in the morning, and then the parents will pick them up at noon. So enrollment and attendance, I've never really shared it by grade level before. I really wanted to see if the transition programs make a difference, but what really struck me was it's very similar. You enroll for Summer Avalanche for the year that you'll be attending in the fall, so what they started last week. So pre-K, again, record-breaking, that's our theme, 99 students, we were max capacity for that one. But kindergarten and first grade, there's only one student difference. Kindergarten had 309, first grade had 308. Third grade was our high flyer with 340 students registered. And then starting at fifth grade, it dips down below 200, and then it decreases each year after that because they're getting older. Elementary attendance. So for our elementary, we had out of our 10 elementary schools, 6 had over 200 students register for Summer Avalanche, and 7 of those 10 increased their daily attendance or had daily attendance over 100. So here's my ones I wanted to spotlight here. Brookhaven, Cheat Lake, and Eastwood all increased their daily average attendance by 20 or more points. But if you look at Suncrest Elementary, they increased it by 99 points. So they went from 142 daily average last year to a daily average of 241 this year. So for our middle schools, 3 out of the 5 registered 130 or more students, which was huge for our middle schools. I test some of that success because we've done this long enough now that our middle schoolers got to experience Summer Avalanche at the elementary level, so they just keep wanting to continue to attend when they go to middle school. And out of those, our 2 smaller schools, Westwood and Clay Battelle, each registered over 50 kids. Westwood had 71, I believe. South would be a high flyer for us. They increased their attendance, daily average attendance by 10 points, and Westwood by 9 points this year. Nutrition, like everything else, all our numbers went up. Breakfast, we did a little less than 10,000, so we had 9,861 breakfasts served. That's an average of 660 a day. Lunch, we did just under 16,000 with 1,039 a day. Our transition programs is what I hear most about from parents. These are very successful. So we have 3. We have Get Set Sam for rising pre-K students, Ready Freddy for rising kindergarten students, and 6th grade boot camp for rising 6th grade students. So Get Set Sam, like I said earlier, is only a half-a-day program. So the students have the opportunity, if they choose to ride the bus. For some, it's their first experience with a bus and first experience in our schools. This is important for both the child and the parent. They get those jitters out before they start school like they did last week. So I hear things like, we only cried for 3 days, or by week 2 we weren't crying anymore. And then I hear when school starts, we didn't have any tears. Because they've already made friends, they get to participate in the activities and the routines that a pre-K student would. So breakfast, lunch, see their classrooms, and some of them will get the opportunity to be with their teacher too. It just depends on who's teaching the class. Ready Freddy, very similar. The difference for Ready Freddy is that's rising kindergarten students, it's all day. So they participate in Ready Freddy in the morning, and then they get to choose whatever Summer Avalanche program that's available for kindergarten students. But again, it mirrors their day. So they're riding the bus, getting breakfast, doing carpet time in the morning, and doing other activities in the afternoon and riding the bus home. And building those most important relationships with the teachers and their peers. 6th grade boot camp, that's very successful because those kids aren't just transitioning into school, but they're going to a whole new school. are going to middle school. They're leaving elementary to go to middle school. So that's their first exposure to that middle school. They get to build their relationships with the teachers and the staff. So the first time they see their teacher isn't the first day of school or the staff. They get to learn the layout of the building, eat breakfast, they get to do lunch, and all importantly, as you can see here, I always get tons of pictures of them practicing opening those lockers. Some even do bell races to get to different parts of the school and things like that, and they do a lot of team building activities. So all of our programs, we are well over 250 programs that are offered across the county at the 15 locations. They're all hands-on, high interest to the students. As you can see here, the little video that's playing in the corner is Ridgedale built, and that's only a minor piece of the landscape that they built out of clay and found objects of a community. And they had requirements that something had to move in every one of them. So it's a sports complex is what that is. They have ample opportunity to read, they're building the relationships, and then Skyview, as you can see, had a very surprise guest of the friendly turtle that just stayed with them the whole rest of the day. At middle school, they take hands-on to a whole other level. As you can see, they do digital photography. That's always one of my favorite ones. That's because the teacher that teaches that, he teaches social studies in the year. So teachers that do Summer Avalanche are usually teaching something that they're very passionate about. But what's superb about this is they're using all the skills and strategies and their best practices to teach these things. So when I got to sit on the digital photography class, he's using his Tier 3 vocabulary, graphic organizers, just like he would to teach his social studies to do digital photography. It's very popular. We also have a lot of woodworking classes at multiple schools. Gardening is always super popular. As you can see, fitness too. And the lower left corner is our backyard survival that was at Mountaineer this year. So they were taught how to build a campsite, tents, how to survival backpack, building fires and things like that. And then we also had baking and pastry at the middle school level. This year we had a handful, not a lot, but a handful of high school teachers come down and even teach some of the middle school classes, which was nice. So Summer Avalanche is just a very small it's not a small summer program. What I'm trying to say, it's just like what we do during the school year, but on a much smaller scale. We have less students, even though that is 22% of our population, well over 230 teachers, but it couldn't happen without our departments here. So a super thank you to the Department of Transportation, Student Services, Child Nutrition, and HR. Summer Avalanche is so successful, though, because it is teacher-driven for the students. So they're creating the classes, and the students are participating in them. And we even have kids that will try to register themselves because they're so excited about it. So here are I can't shout out to every teacher I can shout out, but here are our site coordinators that are at our schools. Most of the time we have very high carryover rate because they just enjoy doing this so much, but we've had a few new ones this year. But I always like to end a little bit on a student voice or a parent voice. So I received this email, just read a little bit of it, and it said, I just wanted to share with you the positive influence that Summer Avalanche had on my child. This child was going into Suncrest Middle, and they were taking part in the culinary class, Culinary Passport. And so today we went shopping, and she insisted on buying potatoes, curry powder, and rice to make a chicken dish. I am so impressed. She's over here measuring water for rice and cutting up potatoes. She is excited to share this dish with us, and I am excited about her enthusiasm. So that's what Summer Avalanche brings. That's just one small piece of what it brings. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I just want to ask, how do we keep this? What do we need to keep this going?
Well, the key is the funding. We've got to make sure we can pay for it.
Right, well, obviously, but if this comes from levy money, is that right? That's
No,
just levy money?
this is operational money, correct?
Operational,
Carryover money. So
and we won't have it next year.
we don't know.
No, yet. I'm working on the financial statements currently, and I will, as of September 30th, I will be able to provide an answer.
But the budget we passed in May did not include this.
It did not for the 27 school year.
But that wouldn't
26,
apply to
27.
carryover would be separate, correct?
Right, so
Okay.
once at the very end, because we're in 2 different fiscal years when we start. So right now, I had carryover for what we just finished, And then for the upcoming school year, for the 26-27, there's nothing in there currently. But I'm hoping once we do once the financial statements are completed, then I will be able to assess if we will have carryover funds to continue it for the 26-27 school year.
And remember, prior to this summer's, which was paid for out of carryover money, we were using federal dollars. We were using COVID money to pay for summer avalanche. And obviously, that's gone. That's no longer in existence. And so we have to find another source of revenue to pay for the summer programming.
And in the past, the cost has been between $800,000 to $1 million.
I know the board got an email from one of the Morgantown city councilors, and I agree completely with this. I think this is a perfect program to be supported by the county commission and the West Virginia First Foundation, the opioid money that was given back to the state. I think back to when I was a kid, and I don't know how we've moved so far away from this idea, but the idea that kids are going to be home by themselves in the summer, what do you think they get into, right? What do you think they get into without a place to go, such as summer avalanche, where they're not only with teachers and adults, but they're with their friends, right? They're with their friends and they're learning something. My daughter took a cooking class at Cheat Lake and came home and wanted to try something crazy, and I was like, I don't think so. It was very off the wall. It was very off the wall. But the fact that our teachers are able to use their creativity for these offerings that they're not able to do during the school year is so amazing. And you know, like we said earlier, the step-up programs. My kids participated in all those step-up programs, and if we lose them, that is just going to be terrible. So yes, I'm putting it out there. West Virginia First Foundation, County Commission, we're ready to talk. Let's get it done.
Sean, you have any comments?
I mean, I'm in love with the program, and I agree with Board Member Barry and Dr. Morgan. Let's do something. Let's put our heads together and figure this out. And I know the administration would work with us. And I remember when Joe sent that email, I thought, okay, now it's time to start putting the plan together so we can ask for money.
Dr. Taylor, I had a curious question. We have repeat customers as we go through this, but then we have the growth within. Do you think the customers we have now are talking their friends to, hey, we need to do this next year? Would you say that's where that's coming from?
Yeah, and we have registration, it opens in February, but at some point we have to prepare because we treat it just like schools. We have IEPs, and then I forgot to mention you have your little packet there that goes into more detail about stuff like that.
Right.
But they would sometimes bring their friends with them that haven't registered. That's a common occurrence. They'll just show up with their friends. But yes, it is highly recommended by everyone.
Yeah,
and then I have another little story of a colleague that we work with here in this office was on an airplane ride from Pittsburgh to Florida, and she could hear the people in the back talking about it. And there was 3 ladies, but only one was from the Morgantown area and 2 from the Pittsburgh area, and they were talking about summer and activities. And she's like, "Well, I'll tell you what our county does. We offer da 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 da, and it's free." And so it was really nice to hear that it's traveling.
Well, I love the fact that it's our students passing it on and encouraging other students to get involved with it. So that's the upper plus side of the whole thing. So thank you for all you do. You do a great job.
Thank you.
All right. Now we're down to reports, discussion, and follow-up. I'll let you go with it. Okay?
Yes, the first item we need to talk about here is the policy on substitutes in areas of critical need and shortage. Board members, we have to approve this annually with any changes that we want to make to the list. I do recommend that the board approve the policy for substitutes in areas of critical need and shortage with the changes made.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, comments?
Is
Bob,
there-
what did you add?
Driver education is the only thing added from last year.
Okay.
Is there anything that we don't have a need in?
Elementary education,
Oh, okay, okay,
K-6.
okay. Because we literally have a list of 31 areas.
This also allows teachers to apply for tuition reimbursement if they go back and take classes in these areas. So that's what's really important as well.
Excellent.
And the State Board of Education also approves this.
Sean, you have any comments?
I do not. Nope.
Okay. That said, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Awarding of contracts.
All right. The first one we have is for this facility's parking lot to be paved. And I believe you can see in your executive content, superintendent recommends that the board award this bid to Parada Paving at a cost of $149,107.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? I'll second it. Any discussion, comments? Okay, all in favor,
Oh, no,
signify.
hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh.
How necessary is this right now? When I was out in the parking lot, it visually wasn't bad compared to, say, the Cheat Lake lot that we had to pave last year. I'm just wondering with that price tag, if this is pressing, and if it's necessary this year versus in the future.
I do recommend that it be done. We actually had a couple of employees' vehicles damaged from problems in the parking lot, and we certainly don't want to have our public who frequent this facility as well suffer any vehicle damage. So
Well, it's
that is
preventative.
why it's on the list to
Okay.
be paved.
Yeah. Plus
Is there however many year rotation, or is it?
Yes. We try to pay the most needed ones. For example, we did Mountain View and Skyview this year because, again, if you don't keep up with these projects, then you have, and they're very expensive, very expensive. So we have a rotation where we just continue to move through and hit the most critical ones and then keep going until we get to the next cycle.
All right. Sean, you have any comment?
No, sir.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.
Nay.
All right, we'll do a hand vote. All in favor, raise your hands.
Aye. Again.
Okay, well, yeah, we can't see your hand. Opposed, the same? Okay, motion carries. South Middle School dishwasher.
Yes, superintendent recommends that the board approve the bid for the south dishwasher and give that to Trimark SS Kemp at a cost of $61,582.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Any comments, Sean?
No, sir.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same? Motion carries. New contracts. Getting into the good stuff here now.
Yes. Superintendent recommends that the board approve the contract for the additions and renovations to the Monongalia County Technical Education Center as presented in your executive content this evening.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Conversation, questions, follow-ups?
Can you just describe like what all is being added there? Renovated, fixed?
Yeah, we are adding two new classrooms, and really classrooms a poor description. These are technologically based classrooms. One is for robotics, AI, computer science type of courses that will be offered in that space. And then the second space is for a new program that we'll be introducing to MTech that will be for our 8th grade students for various areas of career exploration.
And is this addition to the building, or is this renovation of something
This is a
inside?
complete new addition to the building.
Where's it going? In the back by the,
If you look at the front of the building as if you're walking in, it will be on the right-hand side at the end of the building,
in the parking area?
in the parking.
Where the copy center is.
Yes, in that area right there, yeah. Come off of the copy center area,
Okay.
right there in the front.
Will we be using our SBA money that we received?
Yes.
I'm just excited we finally got to this point. This has been ongoing for a while. Okay, Sean, you have any comments?
No, sir, I'll chime in if I do.
Okay, just want to make sure we still got you.
Thank
Okay, all in favor, I'm sorry, you say something?
For a few more minutes, yep.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Next,
Next up is our agreement with WVU School of Medicine, Ophthalmology, and Visual Sciences. Superintendent recommends that the board approve that agreement.
do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Right. Any comments, questions?
Yeah, could you talk to us a little bit about this, please?
Yeah.
I said please.
Donna, you want to tell us what that's all about?
Well, yes, it is a program that we're doing in conjunction with some of our outreach as far as connecting students and with services. We do this in various other entities, but right now it's to, again, work with students and families through the WVU Department of Ophthalmology. So it's something we haven't done before in this particular way. But it is a service, again, and since it's so new, I hesitate to validate for sure what our outcomes are going to be. So it's just something that we haven't done for our students in the past. We have a lot of connections with the dental
Right. I knew that
groups.
with
Yes.
Through the health department, right?
Well, so one is through the health department, and one is through the actual department at WVU for the dental work. And so we have two of those programs. So this is expanding those services there. We do need assistance with, we do have students that require additional support in, because they are not able to see or to use the common areas of connecting. So we work with them to help support the needs of students in that way.
All right, thank you, that's very well explained. Does WVU School of Medicine offer these services in kind, or is it a more monetary?
There is no cost associated
Yeah,
with this
this.
contract.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I've said this before, anytime I see WVU on our agenda, I always want to know how much it's going to cost us.
And in this case, either insurances are taken.
Like that one, Sean.
It's much like our dental program too. It's either free or insurances are able to pay for that. So, it's not a cost to us, I guess.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it would be a good
Wait
cost for
a
us.
minute, is this the visual service one that we just did?
Sure.
I don't think we should.
Excuse
think
me, I
that's-
think I misspoke.
Yeah.
There's another one that'll be coming in front of you for the next time. This is what we had bid out a few weeks ago
Right.
for the visual services,
Yeah.
and it's $50 per hour, and they were the lowest bid.
Yeah, okay.
I apologize for that.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure it wasn't another thing where we have to partially fund WVU
Right.
or something.
All righty. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. And the consent agenda.
The superintendent recommends the board approve the consent agenda as presented to include items A, expenditures exceeding $3,000. Item B, the payment of salaries and accounts payable. Item C, field experiences. Item D is our memorandum of understanding with Dr. Claire St. Peter for behavior interventions. Item E, the Marriott Function Sales Agreement for the Morgantown High School Prom. Item F is the Keith Matheny Agreement. Item G is the USI GASB Actuarial Services Agreement. Item H is the WVU Friday Program Memorandum of Understanding. Item I are the minutes of your August 12th, 2025 meeting. Item J is the pre-K collaborative contracts. Item K are the pre-K change in scope for classrooms. Item L is the Head Start July monthly report. Item M is the Early Head Start July monthly report. Item N is the pre-K classrooms change in scope. And item O is the Early Head Start Health and Safety Screeners for Early Head Start Mountain View and Early Head Start Mason-Dixon.
Okay. Any comments or,
Do we need to make a motion?
oh, that's right, we didn't get that way. Do I need a motion?
So moved.
Second. Okay, now we can discuss it.
I'd like to move item F and item H out of the consent agenda for further discussion.
Which items?
F and H, so Keith Matheny agreement and the WVU Friday program. I think we need a further discussion on those two, and I don't want it to wreck the consent agenda.
Okay. You want to amend your motion for that?
I move that we remove item F and H from the consent agenda and consider them separately.
So who made the second? Was that you?
Yes, second.
You're okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. All righty. With those adjustments, all in favor signify by saying aye.
I still have questions. For
Wait, I
the,
think we have to adjust this first before we have questions, correct?
is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're voting on her adjustment, so
okay.
all in favor of that signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Now,
Now I have questions about item A. Specifically about, item 9 on that list, the end zone camera system. Is this a replacement? Is this new?
It's new and it's for UHS.
Okay, why is it necessary? Do we have something comparable at MHS or Clay Patel?
They're using the school it's the school's funds, and university is the one that is wanting to purchase this.
Okay.
now what was your other item?
No, that's it.
That's okay.
Oh, I thought you had two of them you were,
I'm sorry.
okay. All right, so on that one, I'm assuming you're recommending, the recommendation is to approve it, so,
Yeah, I recommended that that was part of the consent
Right.
agenda that I
typical.
asked for approval,
Just
yes,
for clarification,
yes.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now, we're down to policies.
No,
We
F
gotta
and
go
H.
back to item F and H, which were removed for
Oh,
separate
that's why I thought you were
consideration.
going to do them all at the same time, so. Okay, go ahead.
I guess, do I need to recommend that again?
Yes.
Okay. Superintendent recommends that the board approve item F, the Keith Matheny agreement.
Do I have a motion? I'll second it. All in favor signify by saying
No, I
aye.
have some questions. I'm a little confused about these in-person dates for the training. Who is receiving this training?
Yes, this is for Westwood School. It's a whole,
So it's teachers?
oh, yes.
Aren't students in class those days?
Yes, and he can, well, I don't know every day here that he's
It's
named.
October 6th, October 6th through the 8th,
Yes,
December 2nd through the 4th, and then
Yes.
I'm going to assume February 9th
Yes.
through the 11th,
Yes.
26.
yes, that's correct. And yes, this is ongoing within the school, but it is definitely just a Westwood initiative that he comes in and works with the entire school. The teachers, again, they have PLC time, they have, opportunities to work with him throughout the day, but he'll be very fully integrated into the school. He did their kickoff at the beginning of the school year. He was also with us for the last 2 years at the Blueprint program. Our teachers have felt that he had a strong message in how we support students so that they are ready to learn. And again, I think the Westwood staff felt that this could be of assistance as they are moving forward, again, getting kids to attend school. That is one of our main focus areas, and to be engaged in school. So it is about building the culture, but it's also mostly about building student confidence, building students' engagement throughout the school. So yes, it's like being immersed into a language, or I equate it to that. So he would be there working within the school culture for
Okay.
that time.
So he would actually be in classrooms with students?
Yes, and teachers.
Okay. And he already provided a training for Westwood in particular?
Yes.
This was last year?
This was at the beginning of this year.
Okay. Why continue with the same coach when there is a philosophy in education that you want to be exposed to different types of pedagogy or approaches to student behavior issues? I'm just wondering, instead of, personally, as someone who has been through education, has multiple professors, it gives you different perspectives to have different people on board. And so I'm just wondering why we're putting all our eggs in one basket with this one presenter.
My recommendation on that is it's important to have that consistency of having one person. Now, if this were over year after year after year, I would understand clearly what you were saying, that we exposure to different things. And that's why, at Blueprint, we had, 4 different national speakers to expose to that. This one seemed to be a fit for Westwood. And again, it's so that it's not just one singleton kind of presentation. I think that sometimes can be lacking, and then people leave, and there's no follow-up, there's no investment in it. So for us, we felt strongly that Westwood was making a lot of positive changes here and moving forward, and that this, over time, 3 weeks, would keep that consistency throughout the year. So that's the reason that I would recommend it.
I have a couple questions, comments.
Sure.
One, I think there might be a pricing discrepancy between theme 1 and theme 2. There's just a comma rather than a decimal point.
Okay.
I assume the
It's
second
a
and
comma.
third are
It
correct.
should be a comma.
Okay.
What's your,
It also says there's a theme 1, a theme 2, and a theme 3, so he's it seems to me like maybe it's a progression of things they're introducing. And I like the idea that it's recurring because it creates a sense of consistency. It gives the teachers an opportunity to ask questions. I don't exactly know what this person's topic is, but I'm assuming that the teachers and the principal have had input on this speaker being there, that there's buy-in?
We've had a really good response,
Yeah,
and
that's my question. Is this good for the teachers? Is this what the teachers want?
yes.
Good enough for me?
Right, and like, and I also am of the mind that what Westwood needs isn't necessarily what Suncrest needs, isn't necessarily what South needs. So if the teachers and the administrator are bought into this, then 100%.
I think they've had a great initial experience with him at the beginning of the year. And again, that was the idea to keep that going forward here. So again, I think it's important for all the reasons I've already stated.
What is his platform?
He's a national expert in student engagement.
He goes by the term Coach Rudy.
Okay. All
But
right.
that's his real name.
Yes, we read about him in the spring. I just
Yes,
didn't
you did,
put the two and
yes.
two together.
Okay.
I didn't make that connection either.
Thank you.
Yeah, he has a real name.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, that made more sense because I remember reading about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so your recommendation was to approve this, so all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same?
Nay.
Okay, show of hands. All in favor, raise hand. Ayes, 3, and the nays, 1.
Did Sean
Motion.
leave us?
He's off now.
Okay.
So anyway, just for the record, Sean had to leave, so that's why we didn't hear anything from him. So anyway, motion carries. There was one more.
Item H. Superintendent recommends that the board approve item H, the WVU Friday Program Memorandum of Understanding.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay. Questions, comments?
So under this program, which is a new program, will students need transportation?
No,
Is this the same program where they go to the
yes.
pool and the?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
this has
Will
been
they talk
happening
about
for years.
aquatics?
That's,
So where are they going to do the aquatics?
At WVU.
So do students need transportation to
Oh,
WVU?
we take them.
We do?
We do.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what
it's
I was
our-
asking.
I'm sorry. It's our buses, our transportation.
And we've
No,
been
no
doing
one
it for a
does
long
that.
time now.
very long.
Yes.
Yes, we have, that's why it's on the consent agenda.
Yeah, it has been.
It's not-
I don't remember this from last year, that's why I moved it up.
Sure.
I also see that they collect data, and students are asked, or parents are asked to approve that, right?
When they agree to go, yes.
When they agree to go.
Yes.
What's the cost to, there's no cost to the student, it's all covered by MCS?
Yes, we don't
Okay.
charge students.
I don't think
Okay.
this one has.
It's a special needs specifics program.
Yeah.
Kids love it. And the aides go with them.
So this is during school hours?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I think that's all of them, right?
Yes, it is.
Next is policy. Start with crowdfunding.
We have two policies that we need to address this evening. First is policy 6605, crowdfunding. This is for first reading. At the board's request, we have made the changes that you asked for. And the superintendent recommends that the board approve policy 6605, crowdfunding, for first reading.
I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Comments, discussion?
I'm
All-
confused, when were we supposed to submit our comments? Because we talked about this at our last meeting, and there were two options, and then this was presented to us for first reading. And there's some language in here that I'm not happy with. And so I'm just wondering who gave feedback on this from the board?
Who what?
Who gave feedback on this? Where did we come up with this language from?
It comes from the writer of the policy. We subscribe to a policy.
Yeah, the
writer.
computer. So,
No,
I'm
not
concerned,
the computer.
Neola,
Neola's not a computer.
it's a computer program that spits out the policy. It's not a person that's writing the policy, is it?
It is people.
There's people?
Yeah.
So I'm most concerned with third paragraph, last phrasing. but only with the specific approval of the superintendent. Is there an opportunity if the superintendent, and I'm not saying you would, but if the superintendent, whether it's now or in the future, would choose that they don't want to support crowdfunding and decide to deny every single request from a PTO, I almost said POA, from a PTO, how can the board possibly control that?
Change policy back, or change, or
I mean, I guess that's giving a lot of power to one person without a check.
well, he runs the system. I mean,
The current fundraising policy
Right.
stipulates that the superintendent make those decisions. I believe it gives the option, that's the current policy, but I can't remember the options. When that policy was approved by the board, is the option there for the board to approve fundraising?
It is.
It is, yes.
If they want to approve every fundraiser.
Yeah, so
That's why I said, I mean, how many dozens of fundraisers we have?
I probably do 24 a week,
What is your criteria for approval?
that it meets the fundraising policy, that it not violate law.
So there's nothing, you're just saying, oh, well, we're not doing this.
My
one, we'll do this one.
only interjection of opinion would be that it meet the letter of the law and that it does not violate the policy. It's not subjective in nature that I like cupcakes over brownies.
right.
Have you ever turned one down that met the policy?
I don't believe I have.
But that's not the question,
They're very few
because
and far between that I've said that to.
That's exactly what you were asking.
the question is that we're changing this policy that was adopted 5 years ago, and that according to the board and according to parents, we want to change it, but now we're saying, well, one person gets to decide everything. So,
That's currently how your fundraising
yes,
policy
but
reads.
what is the protection here? Because we're saying that third-party platforms are not great. We'd rather them not use it, but we're giving them this leeway now with your approval. All right.
Did you have an alternative?
I don't like that phrasing. I'd like it to
Do
see it
you have-
change.
well, what else
Yeah,
should it
I'd
be?
like to see,
What else should it be?
I-
What should we have?
I'm sorry, can I speak? I'd like to see with some sort of appeal towards the board. Not that the board needs to approve every single one, but that PTOs can come to the board if they are rejected.
I believe
You could do that.
they could do that now. Any public person could come and,
And we
I mean,
can,
we have it all the
Okay.
time. We had speakers this evening come and express thoughts and opinions to the board.
but the board doesn't overrule the superintendent. So if you make a decision and a PTO is not happy with that, and you say no fun runs this year, and you reject every fun run, what can PTOs do in order to push back?
I guess they could come in front of the board and suggest that the superintendent's making poor decisions.
Okay,
Right. And we, the board, could look at it and say, was it in the spirit of the policy? Was he denying it because he didn't like cupcakes?
No.
But the point being is, there's an alternative if it comes to that. Any other questions? Okay. This is an action item.
It is an
Yes.
action item.
All in favor signify, or, yeah, we got a motion, okay.
Is this is out for public comment now?
Right.
No, it is
No.
not. This is for first reading. Should you approve it for first reading this evening, as it's written, it would then go out for public comment for 30 days. And the public would have the ability to review the policy and make any comments that we would share with the board before it was adopted. And the board could consider those comments and request that changes be made at that point.
Which is sketchy going outside of the, what I want to say,
The language of
The
the
language of
policy
the
as it's
policy,
written, yes.
because it's been vetted, so to speak. We don't want to start writing our own policies, I guess, is where
But we could.
we could, but you got to defend it in court. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Show of hands. All in favor, hands up. All opposed? Motion carries. Next one, embedded credit.
Yes, this is a little different tonight. This is policy 2370.02, embedded credit. I am asking the board to waive the first reading and proceed to second reading and adoption this evening with the policy as presented. We are under a timeline as far as submission to the West Virginia Department of Education, and that's why I'm making that request. This is a current policy. We just needed to update some of the language. So I recommend that the board approve it as presented this evening.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Conversation? Questions? All of it? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Personnel matters.
I don't have any changes to the regular personnel list. Superintendent recommends that the board approve the personnel list as presented this evening.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Follow-up? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. New positions?
I do have several positions that I would like to request this evening from the board. First, we would like to add under professional, a kindergarten teacher. It's a 200-day full-time contract. This would be at Skyview Elementary School. It would be paid for out of county operational money. And under service personnel, I would request that the board approve an autism mentor aide, 200 days full-time at Westwood Middle School, also paid for by the county. An ECAT 2 aide for our pre-K at Milan Park Elementary. This is a 200-day full-time contract paid for by the county. And an ECAT 3 paraprofessional aide, 200 days full-time at Skyview Elementary, also paid for by the county.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Second.
Questions? Follow-ups? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. It's nice to see Skyview's kindergarten increasing. Okay.
We had a couple hot spots that we needed addressed and a couple areas of need in relation to the aides as well. So you never know at the beginning of the year where you're going to see those. So
Right.
thank you, Board, for letting us address those.
Okay, the addendum.
I don't have any changes to your addendum. Superintendent recommends that the board approve the addendum as presented.
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second? I'll second it. Questions? Follow-up? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Excess levy update.
We don't really have an update for you, nothing new on that horizon. I'll still take names we're starting to reach out to people as far as the committee, and we're starting to look at calendars to do some scheduling as well. So if anybody has anything, any members that they're interested in asking us to reach out to, please let us know, and certainly if there's any questions you have, we'll try to answer those.
What number are we looking for the amount of members on this committee? Do we have a magic number?
I don't think so. I
I
mean,
can't
in the
remember what we
past,
had.
I think we've had upwards of 20, 30 members.
I was thinking 30, but
That way we have good participation, because everybody can't be at every meeting, so it generally gives you a good pool to work from.
I know you contacted the board about possibly identifying co-chairs.
Yes.
Have we moved on that?
No.
Okay.
Okay. That's not an action item, so now we go to board updates. Anybody have any updates?
I have none.
I have none.
I have a few. I really encourage our teachers in our community to look at the Your Community Foundation of North Central West Virginia Facebook page. They have a number of grants that are due around September 22nd. There's one for STEM for Girls Fund Grants, which is all our teachers in Mon County are eligible. There are educator mini grants that you can request up to $750 to use in your classroom. There's also a Stephen D. Tanner Children's Enrichment Grant that is eligible, or I'm sorry, our Title I schools are eligible for that as well. I also want to throw out there for our high school students that the West Virginia Lions Club is sponsoring a 4-week cultural exchange scholarship. You get up to $1,700 to go study abroad. It's an amazing experience, and I know at least one of our students from MHS received one of those last year and was in Italy for 4 weeks. So please look at West Virginia Lions Club for information on that scholarship.
Anybody else? I believe we are adjourned.
Board members?
Thank you.